everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. And today I'll be talking about everything I watched in Q1 of 2023.
It's Brittany, bitch.
This video is lovingly called The Age of Discovery because I watched a shit ton of Discovery Plus during this time period and barely watched anything else. So let's just get into it, and we're gonna start with Netflix. And on Netflix, we watched MH370, The Plane That Disappeared. This is a documentary about the plane that disappeared. It was like a very famous historical event where this plane literally just fucking disappeared, and we're trying to find out what actually happened to it. There are a lot of theories. This was such like a conspiracy theory documentary, and I just enjoyed it. It was honestly a fucking good ass time. Do we ever find out what happened to them? No, but that's where the conspiracy theories abound. Next, we're gonna move to HBO Max, where we watched House of the Dragon, which is the very famous like Game of Thrones spinoff. We finally fucking finished it. We started it last year and we just like never got around to finishing it because they're very long, dark episodes. And also the timekeeping of this show was very frustrating for us. And I haven't read the books yet, so I couldn't really like tell us what was going on. House of the Dragon obviously follows the Targaryens, which are the house that has dragons as pets, accomplices, just like their overall like reign of dragons, and I'm here for it. I'm not sure how I felt about the show. Honestly, I kind of liked it. I kind of didn't. I don't know if it's because I didn't read the book first that I wasn't as invested, but the time jumps were really difficult for me sometimes to follow. And there was like an insane amount of scenes that were so fucking dark, even with like all of our lights off, like we could barely fucking see what was going on, which like, listen, I get it, but cinematically, like, I'm a little tired of that in shows. Like, can I just get, like, a smidge of lighting? Like, I am okay with, like, realistic light, like, from the moon on a beach. I would like a little bit more. Just a smidge. Now, on to Discovery Plus. Rewatched the vast majority of all of our TV shows. A lot of them were just, like, long seasons, and we also just got really into the 90 Day Fiancé fiasco. I love 90 Day Fiancé. It's one of our, like, guilty pleasures. We definitely watch as much of it as we possibly can, and we just, like, went down the rabbit hole. So we watched 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, seasons 1 through 5. And again, just love the show. I love most of the iterations. I wouldn't say all. I love most of the iterations. And this is one of those ones that I think you really should watch it to kind of get the background on so many characters that you end up enjoying from 90 Day Fiancé. And I'm going to say characters because even though I know they're real people, but like, it's still a TV show. Okay. So like, I know it's following their lives, but they're still characters. Okay. And then we also watched 90 Day Fiancé the other way, seasons 1 through 3. Again, I feel like I was getting so much more background on people we've already watched in like the 90 Day Fiancé franchise and earlier iterations or different iterations because a lot of them like crossover. This was really interesting. I think it's really cool to think of people going the other direction because so many people think America's like wonderful. Like, why would you want to leave? And I think that's a very present theme throughout this entire show. And like, and people's families of the people who make these decisions are like, why would you leave America? America isn't all that fucking great. We also watched 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After seasons 1 through 7. And I think this may be my favorite just because I like seeing what happens afterwards, especially there's so many of my favorite couples on this show. And I'm honestly obsessed. Like, this is the one that I want to watch more than any of them just because I feel like it has the most juicy details because it's their life after they decided to become married and pledge their lives to one another. And there's so many like family dramas and stuff that still continue to fucking happen. We also watched 90 Day Bears All, which is like an uncensored like talk show talking about what happened on 90 Day like iterations. This is probably one of our favorites because obviously like it's not edited, like people can swear and stuff. I hate bleeping in shows in general. I just want to hear if somebody says fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear what they say, especially if they're like insulting one another and yelling. I want to hear what they're insulting with because sometimes you can't always tell. And I really love Bears All because they really do Bear All. It's uncensored. It's only for people who have Discovery Plus. You can't like watch it on TV. I think it's really fun and I really enjoyed it. I think they only have 1 season so far, or maybe 2 seasons. I don't actually remember. I didn't write that down. So whatever they've come out with is what I've seen. Next on the list was Flip or Flop season 12. And this is a departure from my 90 Day obsession, but we've always loved Flip or Flop. It's one of my favorite like HGTV shows. And obviously, sadly, it ended. Season 12 was the last season because the couple on there, Christina and Tarek, they split up some time ago. So that was like them finishing out this season and finishing out strong. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss it. I think it's one of those shows that's just like effortlessly amazing to watch. Like, it's so easy to watch it. It's so much fun watching Christina and Tarek duke it out over houses, especially because obviously like they've been separated for quite some time now. So in the last couple of seasons, like they've been separated. complicated and having to like deal with that it's causing like fun tension on the show, and I enjoy it. But I'm very sad that season 12 is the last season, and I think it like ended okay. I could have used a little bit more oomph, but I mean, they're on to their other projects. Next, we watched Loren and Alexei's After the 90 Days, like their own little like spin-off seasons 1 and 2. A lot of this is really just like Loren going through her pregnancies with all 3 of their children, and I love Loren and Alexei. They're one of my favorite couples of all time. They're definitely like the top 5. I just adore them. Something about them, I will watch them. Like I don't care what's happening, I will watch them. I think there's certain couples you just get attached to, and there's something about them that you enjoy, you like watching, whatever it is, like I just love them. Like I could watch them give birth to babies forever. I don't know, I just find it fascinating. I really enjoy them as a couple. I recently followed Loren on Instagram. Like I'm trying to like keep into their lives a little bit because also I just really like the show. So hopefully there's a season 3, but I don't know. We also watched David and Annie, their After the 90 Days, their season 1 and 2. And a lot of this was about trying to get Annie's brother, and I don't know if it's like a cousin, over to America to live with David and Annie as like exchange students. And it's basically been a huge ass struggle, and it was really fun to watch because also David and Annie, again, one of our favorites. I think Loren and Alexei is more my favorite than David and Annie, but then again, like I just feel like I can't pit them against one another because when you really like certain couples, they're just totally different people and they have totally different circumstances thrust upon them, and they're just enjoyable to watch in different ways. And this was definitely a hoot. And a lot of it takes place in Thailand, so also really cool. Next, we watched seasons 1 through 4 of The Family Chantel, and I've always loved Chantal and Pedro. I don't really like them as a couple, and obviously if you know what's happening, they have now divorced. But seasons 1 through 4 is very fascinating watching their marriage unravel, and it's just their family as a whole, like they just don't like each other. Like there's so much tension in this show. It's honestly like it's almost like overly dramatic to the point where it feels like a little draining because I feel like honestly it's real life. Like a lot of people just don't get along, but it also follows like Chantal's family, like her other siblings like Winter and River and stuff. So I think that's a really interesting thing, and I'm glad that they branched out a little bit instead of just being just about Chantal and Pedro. I don't really care about Pedro's sister and mom. I have to be honest, like I've never liked them. Estoy termina. Adios. And last and definitely least, we watched Darcey Stacey season 1. So there's 4 seasons of this. We decided to call it quits after 1 season. I never really liked Darcey, I have to say. Like Darcey is not one of my favorite parts of a couple. I've just never been really drawn to her. I don't enjoy watching her on TV, but like I was like, let's give it a go. She's a lot of good drama, like let's see. But like season 1 was like honest to God unbearable watching them. Like it was really, really difficult. Even though like there is like drama in there, I would much rather read it on some like celebrity blog. Actually watching it was awful. So we stopped at season 1 and we will not be continuing. So that is all I watched in quarter 1. I have a lot more coming up for quarter 2. We've already watched like 6 new shows. I think we just kind of had to like exhaust our options on Discovery Plus, and then we finally like started branching back out again. I think we also watched a lot of like comfort shows or shows that were like easy to watch because we were in the process of moving states. Obviously like, it was a very big process. I think we need something that was very like calming and not new to us. Like it's still like in the same universe, most of these things, so it wasn't like out of the blue. And also I will apologize because I really thought that I'd released this video already. I really did. That's why it's so late, because I dead ass thought that I already made this video. Like I'm so sorry. Anywho, if there is something you would like me to watch in this upcoming quarter, go ahead and drop it down below. I have a lot of the streaming services. I don't have all of them. So of course, like if you're going to suggest something, please list where you can find it on and I will do my best. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Have a lovely day.